Good evening, people. We are back online with another speaking mock test for Ielts British Council, basically. If I'm not wrong. I'm not, right? Am I?
No.
Yeah, good enough, good enough. Okay, cool. Always good to have people around, you know, to talk to. Anyway, so yeah, we're proceeding with our test, and we have our student over here who's going to have his test very soon. How soon, by the way?
I think the day after tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow, so, you know, we have to rush in. Okay, so last minute preparations, and if you could, you know, get something out of it, we'd be more than happy, and basically that is the purpose why we're here. The reason why we're here, sorry, my bad. Anyway, let's proceed with the test. You are already familiar with the pattern, you guys are too. For those of you who are new to the channel, we are going to have 3 sections in the speaking test, and, you know, he'll have to talk about different ideas, you know, in almost every other section except for section 2 or 3. In general, they are connected, but then again, in part 1, you know, it's more about a certain topic, and in part 2, it gets a bit more analytical. In part 3, it's sort of, you know, tailor-made to connect with part 2. So it's basically, you know, it has a lot of cohesion and all that. So yeah, for part 2, I'm going to hand him over a certain cue card, which he'll go through. He'll have 1 minute to prepare his notes, quick notes, of course, and then he'll have 2 minutes to talk about the whole thing. Shall we begin?
Yeah.
Let's begin with part 1. Right, so the topic is holidays, travel and tourism. Part 1. Question 1. Do a lot of tourists visit your country?
Well, a lot of tourists do visit our country nowadays. As the advertisement and the media industry works really well in recent times, they are really good in showing the positive side of our country, like the northern areas, Swat, Kalam.
What are the most popular places to visit?
Well, there are many popular places, but I would like to mention Skardu, Chitral, Swat, and Komrat as well.
How important is tourism to the economy of your region?
Tourism is really important for a country's economy. Well, when tourists come, they spend most of the time here in different hotels and restaurants, and I think in this way it's better for our economy.
Okay. What attractions in your area would you recommend tourists to visit?
I belong to a city which is quite ancient city of Peshawar. There are a lot of tourist places there, like Rahman Baba Tomb and Kila Balai Sade.
Okay, cool. Shall we move to part 2?
Yeah.
All right, good enough. So I'll be handing over my cue card. I'll have the questions with me too. So he'll have 1 minute precisely to, you know, put his answers down. For you, those of you who are watching, you know, I would highly recommend writing 1-word points. All right, basically it's bullet points that you need to write so that you could get back to them quickly and, you know, maybe you know, go over them as you answer your questions or the questions that are asked to you. So yeah, here's your cue card. You have 1 minute to put everything down that you want to, and we'll begin once you're done. My watch tells me you have about 20 seconds left. All right, I guess it is time. Yeah, okay, that was... Stop. let's move on.
The topic I've been given for part 2 is a holiday that I enjoyed the most.
Of course.
I think
Don't want you to wait for me to, question you first. He's quite enthusiastic about it, so he just rushed into it. So yeah, I'll start. All right, and then you follow. I'll take this back. So just for the sake of it, part 2, describe a holiday you enjoyed. You should say when and where you went, who you went with, what you did on the holiday, and explain why you enjoyed this holiday.
Well, it was like in 2019 April. I think it was the 1st of April, and the day was Monday. We get up early in the morning, and the day before that, in the night, we decided that we should go to Comrade, which is a place situated in Kagan Valley. It's about 11,000 feet above the sea level. When we just arrived there at 4 p.m., we decided that we should go for a hike, but due to rain, because it was raining that day in the evening, so we canceled the plan. So we just went to the hotel and just rest there. And then the next morning we get up early in the morning. And we went for a hike, and the hike was about 3 or 4 hours. When we reached the top, the top area was called City Pile. When we got there, it was green. The green was all around, and it was one of the memorable trip of my life. And after spending a couple of hours there, we just came back to our hotel, and we got some rest there at our hotel, and the next day we came back to our city, Islamabad, and I think it was one of the most enjoyable holiday of my life.
Great. That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe you spent around 1.5 minutes, I guess, give or take. Yeah. So you still have 30 seconds, but okay. Try and keep it above 1 minute 30 seconds, or maybe 1 minute 45 seconds, because if you don't, if you run out of your words too quick, I believe it'll go against you. So one of the tips that I would like to give you would be to chew your words, go very slow. It's one thing to be fluent, it's another to be, slow and steady, all right? So literally you have to be the slow and steady in this one, all right? Don't go fast because you'll run out of your word bank. So my suggestion would be to go easy on your words, all right, or the way you conversate. Doesn't mean you have to, lower your tone. You should speak loud, of course, and clear, but at the same time, very slow, nice and slow. Chew your words. All right, let's move on to part 3. The first question is, why do people go on holiday or holidays?
People go on holidays just to refresh their minds and enjoy it with their friends and family. I think it's
yeah. Okay. What are the most popular types of holiday today?
In Pakistan, there are national holidays like 6th of September, which is a defense holiday, and we got 25th of December, which is a Quaid-e-Azam birthday.
How important is it for families to go on holiday together, or holidays together? Will I repeat my question? Okay, sure. How important is it for families to go on holidays together?
It's really important for families to go out with and refresh their minds and just get together.
Okay. Do you think it is good for children to experience life in a foreign country?
It's really good to be in a foreign country because you will get to know about their culture, their language, and about the beautiful places in that country.
In your opinion, what kind of holidays will be popular in the future?
I don't know much about that, but I would say if anything like some new innovation or discovery will happen someday, I think that will be celebrated.
Fair enough. Do you think it is safer to travel abroad now than in the past?
Yeah, it's safe to travel now because we got multiple airways, aeroplanes, and a proper mode of transport today than ever before. So I think it's really safe now than in the past.
Great. Okay, so that's it for the test. And now we're going to move on to feedback, if you don't mind. Would you be okay with me talking about you in front of the camera? Yeah, so that people could relate. You know, that's why we're doing it. Anyway, so my feedback is with your first section. You know, I think you were okay with the first questions. I mean, the first 3 to 4 questions. But for the last one, you know, you were a bit irrelevant, slightly irrelevant, because we were talking about, you know, what attractions in your area would you recommend to tourists to visit, and you started talking about a city that you belong to.
Yeah.
So that was a bit irrelevant. You know, that's what I would say. For the second part, you were a little short on time. I mean, I already highlighted that, and you guys need to be very careful about that too. You need to finish your time, or should be close to your time, you know, before time is called, basically. So for the third part, you were very short. You need to add a little more detail to your questions, you know. Okay. Of course, they shouldn't be too, you know, too extensive, or, you know, you shouldn't be talking about your stuff for too long. But at the same time, you know, they shouldn't be too short either. So be careful. Try and maintain the balance. You know, balance them out. Okay. Cater for all the aspects of a certain question, and you should be all right. Okay. And that is it for the evening. If you want to reach out to us to talk about stuff that is related to Ielts, SAT, OET, PTE, etc., 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 we're always at your disposal. Online, you may always leave a comment or two to talk about stuff that you want us to talk about. And that's it for the evening. Take care of yourselves. Adios.